Yo, what's cracking there, sausage fingers? Hope you guys are doing well. I've come along pretty good in recovery, so that's a huge plus. I'll take it, that's a huge win. But I want to touch kind of on that because I've been talking about this for a while now about the use of AI in evaluating health stuff. And if you're not paying attention, the Western medical system is complete garbage. And it's very closely tied with pharmacies and insurance, and it's just one big mess, and nobody cares. Just want to get you out and make a few bucks on the back end and kickbacks. So you have to be your own advocate. There's absolutely no way around it. You have to educate yourself, be your own advocate, dig deep, have some OCD like me, and get in and learn about this stuff. So I want to actually touch on this in a little quick video, so maybe you guys can start looking at some issues you may be dealing with and not getting the answers to. I know this video will probably be a little long, so those of you out there with the attention span of the current generation of 20 seconds, and if you can't read it or listen to it in 20 seconds, you're on mouth breathing looking for the next SpongeBob meme, then this isn't for you. Maybe you need to grow up, adult a little bit, and learn instead of sitting there just scrolling the internet blindly. But to get to the meat of the potatoes here, I'm gonna give you a couple examples. And so I use a handful of different AI models that I got into last fall, just out of curiosity. I was looking something up and I saw it gave me all kinds of in-depth answers I was unaware of. And I know there's several models out there, ChatGPT, Google, both those are a little left-leaning, I'm not gonna lie. They will not, if you pose certain questions to them, they will not give you the answers unless you prod them to. Then there is Claude AI, which I like a lot and I use, and then Grok, which I use. Both of them tend to be more middle of the road, a little to the right sometimes, but not too bad. And then I have another one on there that I use every so often. It's called DeepSeek. It's from a company in China, so God knows probably all my electronics are bugged now, but anyhow, it works well. So what I do is I use primarily Grok and Claude, and I'll ask a question of one of them, and then I'll compare and contrast answers between the two of them so I kind of proof everything, and that helps me get a better general answer to what I'm looking for and a more correct and succinct answer and weed out any bullshit. So between whatever model you use, I strongly recommend, first of all, that you actually go back and forth and do a little Q&A, ask the same questions, and really narrow down your answers. And every once in a while, you'll find they are a little off. I asked something once about the 1986 Tour de France and the controversy around it, and ChatGPT gave me a completely incorrect answer, and I corrected it and said, oh yeah, you're so right. So that being the case, here we go. Example number one. For the last 20 plus years, my wife has had some sort of, well, for lack of a better term, a digestive issue. And it's been extremely painful. It's been very hard on her. It's created a lot of other downstream health effects that we've had to deal with. And for over 20 years, over the time we've been together 27 now, every doctor, every test, every medication has always been a, nah, don't know. Think you might have Crohn's, think you might have IBS. No, you don't. We did this scope, we did that scope. Show's fine. You don't have H. pylori anymore. You don't have that. Your stomach acid's great. No, it's not. Fix that. No answers whatsoever, just suffering in silence. And so finally we got sick of it, and last fall, I took all her symptoms from the stuff she'd logged for all these years, everything we tried, everything we'd done, and I entered it into Grok. I said, this is what we're dealing with. What is this? What potential? And Grok came back with about 3 different things. And so I asked and narrowed it down through a few more questions and answers. And it came down to one called MALS, M-A-L-S, median arcuate ligament syndrome. And what that is it's not a digestive thing, although it affects the digestive tracts, hence the reason the GI docs didn't put a finger to it. But what it does is the celiac artery that runs off the aorta runs underneath your diaphragm, and there's a ligament called the arcuate ligament. And in some people, primarily women, that arcuate ligament clamps down on the artery, and it limits blood flow from anywhere to 50 to 80% to the stomach and the digestive organs. So therefore, you have all kinds of digestive problems that end up happening, and you don't know why, and neither does your GI doc. And we tried disputing it and refuting it every way we could. Like, what if she does this? It doesn't do it sometimes, then it does do it, and this happens here, and that doesn't happen there. Every single time we came back, Grok and both Claude would come back with the same answer, like, nope, that's indicative, that's indicative. So last November, we took all that stuff and, we hate being the Google doctors, but we went to the general doc and we said, hey, here's what we're looking at, and it matches all the stuff that she has, and she has no answers, so can we run forward with this? And they said yes, and then they dropped the ball horribly and put us in this loop of crap that never ended. But over time, we got through that to finally get, literally a few months ago, finally get to Stanford to be evaluated after all the specialized imaging was done and yada, yada, yada. Get to Stanford to be analyzed by specialists over there. And we get a specialist over there who actually listens to the story, says, you know what, I'm not seeing everything I need to see, so let's run some more tests. We went to Stanford on literally dropped the hat one night, packed up the dog and went, and they ran some more tests, and they came back and said, yep, that's exactly what you got. It's extremely rare. Not that it's rare in happening, but it's rarely diagnosed because doctors just don't know about it. And Stanford said, yeah, we can operate on it. It's a vascular operation, meaning we have to go in there laparoscopically in my wife's belly and go in several different points and robotically do a laparoscopic surgery and free the artery from underneath the median arcuate ligament, and therefore she will restore blood flow to her stomach again and hopefully get back to somewhat of a normal life that she's been missing for so many years. So it took a lot of work to get to that point, but had we not used an AI model, we would never, ever have figured that out, ever. And no doctor around here has heard of it. Even with the UC Davis healthcare system here, they hadn't heard about it. And even Stanford, although they'd heard about it, they have very limited experience with it. And there's some docs on the East Coast and a couple in LA, but it's limited. Well, we would not have known about it without the use of AI. So a huge point there. And we had to fight tooth and nail to get this thing nailed down to get her fixed. Or she's on her road to getting fixed at the end of August. But I'm telling you gotta be your own advocate. Gotta be your own advocate. And that was a perfect case of like, hey, looking at the symptoms, not being stupid about it, asking every single question you can think of, right, wrong, dumb, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just ask the question, get an answer, compare it to the other one, see what you get. So that's the first example, and that's a really strong one.